Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the MidDay Bell. Today, we're diving into one of the most active stories in the North American lithium space. That company is EMP Metals. The company just closed an oversubscribed financing. Their capital markets partner, Tembo, increased their position, and their partner, Saltworks, announced a major leap forward in the DLE technology that could materially change EMP's cost structure. We're going to unpack everything investors need to know, what's happening next on the ground in Saskatchewan, and what catalyst could move this stock heading into 2026. I'm here with Paul Schubach, the COO of EMP Metals, which trades on the CSC under the symbol EMPS and on the OTCQB under the symbol EMPPF. It's so great to have you today with me, Paul. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So my first question, I want to dive into this oversubscribed financing that EMP Metals just closed. That's not really something that we're seeing very often in this sector. What do you think drove that level of demand?
Yeah, definitely not as of recent anyways, but I think overall EMP's got a great core of shareholders. They're both strong, sophisticated shareholders who really see opportunity within our Saskatchewan-based project. I think that sort of reflects overall on the project as a whole. When you look at, the jurisdiction we're operating in, the team we've assembled, partnerships we've established, sort of the plans and vision that we continue to execute on here with our project as we advance it forward. I also think too, just some positive sentiment in the lithium space overall as well, which is very encouraging.
What's even more encouraging is that Tembo, your capital partner, has just exercised their right to increase their position in the company. They've been a long-term supporter. They're a very sophisticated investor. What does their participation signal to the market?
Yeah, I think again, overall, Tembo's been a phenomenal investor for us. And so I think either the market or just individual investors should really look at Tembo's continued support as a strong sign of the understanding of what they see on our assets here in Saskatchewan and the value that's being created by EMP.
So we've done an oversubscribed financing. We've got Tembo doubling down on their investment. What exactly are you going to use this capital for? And what are the key developments and steps this financing can unlock into 2026?
Yeah, so the financing really provides the runway that we need to help support the continued development as well as the operation of our demonstration facility. So there's some remaining site work to be done over the winter. And then once we're through the commissioning process, again, that will help contribute towards the operating expenses that EMP will incur over a 12 to 18-month operation schedule.
So you talk about the demo plant. Your project Aurora has a partner, Saltworks, and they just announced that their second generation DLE technology with the double DLE process. So how big of an advancement is this for EMP?
Yeah, I think it's a big advancement overall for the lithium brine industry, sort of in general. EMP is fortunate to be able to showcase this process and this technology within our demonstration facility. And so we also get to be one of the first companies that get to integrate those results into our economic models. Another big advantage with that announcement is it's now we're able to sole source an end-to-end flow sheet from a single vendor. And so this kind of overall sort of simplifies the design, build, commissioning, and transition into operations as we look to advance this technology and their Generation 2 flow sheet into our future commercial facilities.
So I'd like to speak directly to investors. The market really cares about two things, capex and purity. So Generation 2 promises lower capex, higher purity, and less waste. How does this improve EMP's economics and competitive position?
So capex and purity are very much related. In order to produce a higher purity product on the output of your process, it requires more investment into purification equipment. So more equipment means higher capex, higher OPEX. And so the Generation 2 flow sheet that Saltworks has announced really brings some much needed innovation into the overall flow sheet. Doesn't necessarily bring innovation to the equipment itself, but more or less how the equipment is orientated and how the process is really built around DLE. So this really results in a more efficient pathway for us, EMP, to a higher purity product when compared to traditional lithium brine flow sheets.
Okay.
And so a major hurdle, again, when you look at the cost of building these projects today, it's too high for the current lithium price that we're in today. So again, that innovation is required to bring down those total costs of production, strengthen the overall project economics, and we really feel that Generation 2 flow sheet matched with the Saskatchewan-based brine that we have to produce will really help our project accomplish this.
That makes a lot of sense. It's really interesting to hear. So I'm also curious, so how do we actually integrate the Generation 2 DLE into Project Aurora's demo plant to give investors kind of a visual, paint a picture for them how this gets integrated into the demo?
Yeah, and it's really built off how they fundamentally build their commercial scale equipment and those offerings today, where you've got equipment that's built into prefabricated modular base frames. So this really brings a cost advantage when you look at a conventional stick or site built equipment, where you really only need to interconnect the skids with piping, electrical, and instrumentation. And sort of once that equipment is set, connected together, and you're already through into getting ready for commissioning steps and into production as quickly as possible. In most cases too, when you look at Saltworks offerings, a lot of that equipment is already pre-commissioned before it even leaves their site. So it leaves a lot of the risks of leaks, problematic connections, et cetera. They sort of solve all those nuances before the equipment even leaves the facility. So we're really taking the demo plant in a very similar approach. It's going to be on much smaller scale. So it's all skid mounted equipment. We have a building that's currently in construction right now. So exterior work is all complete today, getting ready for the Saskatchewan winter. And then we're moving inside on some interior finishing. So once that building is done, it will be ready to start accepting equipment skids that will be leaving Saltworks in Q1 of 2026. So once all the equipment is set into place, again, we have our general layouts done. We already have some existing well infrastructure in place. We'll just tie in a production line, a disposal line, interconnect the skids, and then we're ready for commissioning and ongoing sustained operations.
And I know hub and spoke has been a big part of the conversation with EMP, and EMP has always emphasized a modular, repeatable design. How does this new technology support the hub and spoke commercial rollout strategy?
Yeah, this technology, and again, just the way that Saltworks builds their equipment is really designed with the modular design in mind. It fits very well into a hub and spoke model. It also complements the resource that we have in Saskatchewan really well by allowing smaller, more spread out operations versus a single centralized site that is doing all of your refining. So the technology also as well is very adaptable, flexible. That really allows us to apply innovation as well as new spokes or future production and future scale up is rolled out. Hub and spokes as well, just when you look at the province in general from an oil and gas perspective, it's a very common type of development strategy. Provides a lot of familiarity with the local landowners as well as the local communities who have sort of seen significant oil and gas development over the last number of decades in the province as well.
So EMP also controls 205,000 net acres, and we're seeing new players entering Saskatchewan. What's basically happening on the ground out there, and why is the region heating up?
Yeah, I think the region's getting some increased attention from some new companies for some basic but also some compelling reasons. Saskatchewan is one of the best locations in the world for both exploration and development of resource. We have a high quality resource as well with excellent lithium grades that have been discovered and are quite contiguous, as well as the brine is free of some problematic contaminants, and one of the major ones being H2S. As well, I think there's just a general understanding of growing lithium supply shortage and demand coming on faster than expected, which is leading towards new resource basins to be developed.
For the company's in a fantastic position. It's obviously well capitalized, great partners, and a demo plant in the works. So what do you see looking ahead over the next 6 to 12 months that will be the main catalysts shareholders and investors should be watching for?
Yeah, the big thing is the demonstration plant. That is one of our core focuses right now. So not only the commissioning of that plant, but also the initial results and sustained results coming out of that operation will be one of the main catalysts for EMP going forward. This will really kind of open up our project to full commercial development and allow us to showcase DLE as sort of the go-to low-cost production for future lithium supply.
What would you say for investors just looking into 2026? Can you list off some of the catalysts that might be announced next year?
Yeah, I think again, 2026 is going to be a big year for EMP. Again, the increased positive sentiment around pricing, I think, is going to help bring some attention towards just the lithium industry in general. And again, we believe that this partnership that we've established with Saltworks will set a new standard for DLE based operations and allow us to quickly advance this project towards a final investment decision on the first commercial project. And again, really built off the success of our demonstration plant that we have underway today.
Thank you so much, Paul. I think I've asked all of my questions that I feel are important for EMP Metals investors or people that are considering investing in EMP Metals should know about. So I just want to thank you one more time, Paul Schubach, the COO of EMP Metals, which trades on the CSC under the symbol EMPS and the OTCQB under the symbol EMPPF. I want to encourage any investor watching this is curious about the company to follow them on social media, to head to their website and download the corporate presentation, and reach out to the company if they have any questions. Again, thank you so much, Paul.
Yeah, thanks so much. Happy to chat anytime.